Finally, we have some great news on Christian Pulisic. It looks like he's got a great jump shot and he looks like he's physically ready to come back. Welcome to the Kavkas View, and today we have got great stories for you guys. So sit down, enjoy yourself. It is international break, but I'm here to entertain you. Story number one, the update on Christian Pulisic's fitness. I'm going to give you the 411 regarding him. Christian Pulisic does not go to the US men's national team. But Tuchel speaks out about it, and it looks like something on Instagram was posted that is positive. That's what we need with Pulisic now, positivity. Number two, Livramento speaks out about playing at Stamford Bridge, and for me this is big. He says key things that makes me think he might be back one day. And the last two stories are the biggest ones. Chelsea save £100 million, and yes, you want to stay around here. Why and how? They played Ruben loftus-cheek and Trevor Chalobah. I will explain, I'll give you the 411. Make sure you're there. And finally, Thomas Tuchel is getting 8 cameras placed around Cobham. I explain why. Stay tuned. But you know the drill. Every single one of you knows the drill, and if you don't, you should. Hit that like button, please. That's the bare minimum you can do. In the comments below, let me know, right? Pulisic has 2 years left on his deal. What do you do this summer? Normally, this is the time where you give a player a new contract. Do you give Christian Pulisic a new deal? Or do you go to the market and see what is people going to offer for it? Or do you just let the deal continue to run? And before we continue, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you're a loyal follower, just let me know in the comments below. I consistently watch your comments. Let's go. Alright, quick 411 regarding Christian Pulisic. He has not been called up to the US men's national team. He is not fit to go and play. We already know this. Christian Pulisic has missed 7 games and 24 days out injury since he got injured for the US men's national team. Yes, a lot of people said, Alex, you were overreacting, but I know this guy's history. I know this guy's tragic past when it comes to being injured. He's not very good at recovering from them. And more importantly, it's an accumulation of injuries. I think he's a super talented player. I really do. I think he can dribble with the ball very well. I think he's got pure striker of the ball. I think he can find the pass when needed. He's good in the half spaces. And he's very explosive and got great sprints. The only issue is with him, he's never fit. And sometimes he comes across very passive in games and disappears. But otherwise, the talent is there. But Thomas Tuchel speaks out about this, and he speaks about Christian Pulisic availability on Chelsea TV, and he openly says Christian is training by himself. Christian is in pain. He needs to learn to deal with his pain, and eventually he'll rejoin the first team, because currently he's training by himself. That's a good sign in the sense that at least he's training. But the best sign here is Christian Pulisic is with Ben Chilwell, and Ben Chilwell put something on Instagram. And it's a nice little jump shot. I don't know when this video was recorded, but I think it was pretty frequent, because why would you put a story on your story, a video of them taking jump shots, 3-point ranges, and yeah, Pulisic looks like he's fine. Listen, if you're injured, there's no way you're leaping up and taking a 3-pointer. It looks great. Hopefully, he's back after the international break, because we can use him. We do need the guy, because as you saw with Ross Barkley coming on, Ruben loftus-cheek, Trevor Chalobah, the squad is very important. And you don't know when they'll be there to save you. So, get well soon, Christian. We need you back. So, story number 2 is super interesting. It's one of those where football is developing. And Thomas Tuchel, the Daily Mail reports, is getting 8 drones above the training pitches at Cobham. Why, you ask? Well, he wants to track his players, footage-wise, the way they train. I think that's ridiculously interesting. Look, we recently just had Julian Nagelsmann come out and speak about having the captain mic'd up so that he can talk to the manager during the game. He doesn't have to shout. He can give him instructions. It can be passed on. I think that's too far, but this is really interesting for me, because if you think about it, this will give players instant feedback on what they're doing in training on a daily basis. They already wear those things around them like a sports bra, which tells them how far they run, their heart rate, whether they're conditioning, whether they're in red zone, whether they're in orange zone. There's metrics that they gather from that. So if you have footage from training, can you imagine how you can develop players and culture players? You can imagine the jump between 18 to 23 when you're new, when you're young, and you're just learning your game. how it could develop if you got instant footage, not only of yourself, but your teammates, watching their runs. It will help with the education of football, personally. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think Tuchel's just doing things for the sake of doing it? Or do you think this is actually going to develop Chelsea? One reason that Timo Livramento is going to be coming back to Chelsea is just the way he spoke against Chelsea. He played yesterday against Callum Hudson-Odoi, and I think Callum in the first half gave him a run for his money. That nutmeg was a little bit cheeky on him, and more importantly, he gave him a good few beatings. But I think Tino fared very well, had a very good game, and after the game he spoke about it. He's like, look, it's a dream come true to play at Stamford Bridge. Like, my family was here, this is a club I wanted to play for, but things didn't work out and I moved on. And for me, that is very telling. When someone speaks so glowingly about you, it's like having an ex. If you're talking about her in that way, oh, you know what, things didn't work out, but it was a dream, it was da-da-da-da. You're going back there. Eventually, you're going back there. And I think Tino is not done. He's not done with Chelsea. Chelsea have a buyback clause that is going to be activated in 2023. So not this summer, the next summer, of £38 million. I think Chelsea are going to activate that. He will come in and he will be the heir to Azpilicueta. That's how I think it's going to happen. I think Reece James will become the right centre-back. And I think he will be the right wing-back for Chelsea for many years to come. This move was fantastic. Like I said the other day, Tuchel spoke about why they let him go. It's in the preview for the Southampton game, if you guys want to go see that. But it was the right thing to do, and it's good for all parties. Everyone wins. Southampton, Chelsea, and team. Now to the main story. And the main story for me is very interesting. Chelsea have saved over £100 million just by playing Chalobah and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. You're going to say, how did they do that, Alex? And I'm going to explain to you now. So, let's start with Chalobah. Unless you've been living under a rock, you already know the deal. You know that Chelsea were actively trying to sign Jules Koundé. Went down to transfer deadline day, Munchie said no. Chelsea were not willing to pay the £70 million. And they opted to stay with Trevor Chalobah. And guess what's been happening? Trevor Chalobah has been playing. He played against Liverpool. He played against Arsenal. He played against Southampton the other day. And he came on in the Champions League. That's 4 appearances for a young player who was not even in consideration at the start of pre-season. Look, if Chelsea went and signed Jules Koundé, that would have been 200k wages plus around about 60 to 70 million pounds transfer fee. They get this kid for, I don't know what he's on, 40k max. And on a free, he came through the youth system. They have saved £70 million just by playing Trevor Chalobah. And for me, he hasn't been any worse than what Koundé could have done. Like, if Koundé's been putting in these performances, you and me as well would have been like, what a great signing. This guy's bloody amazing. He can go forward, he can defend, he's a unit, he's got structure, he's got presence, he's calm, composed. Yet, we all panicked. Why? For example, I got a lot of criticism when I said I don't want Saul. I remember I even drastically said, would I take Saul? Yes, I would. But do I think we need Saul? I said no. I said we had enough cover. We had Ruben, we had Loftus, right? Ruben and Loftus-Cheek, sorry, and Ross Barkley. What am I talking about? But the important thing here is Ruben's been performing like he is the 40, 50 million pound player. Look at his performances since he's been playing for Chelsea. Like, the initial one in the cup against Aston Villa. Great, you're playing in a cup game. Doesn't count for too much, right? Let's not get carried away. Came on in the second half against Juventus. Changed the game. We were actually posing a threat. We were more direct. The Southampton game, they are known to be explosive. And guess what? He was fantastic. Saul, on the other hand, has been struggling. Like I said the other day, I even made a joke. I hope he didn't sell his house in Madrid, because it looks like he's going to have to go back next year. Because Chelsea aren't extending that loan. I'm telling you that right now. Ruben is making sure that with his performances, and he would have cost another £50 million. Chelsea are reinstating his value. God forbid we sell him. Ross Barkley comes on and makes an impact. Has a great performance. And all of a sudden, his value is increased. He's no longer a depreciating asset. All of a sudden, you have a luxury asset on your hands. A player that can play the key decisive pass. Someone that can impact. Now, then we can resell when we don't want it. It's like we need to have more faith in our own. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying every youth prospect that comes through has to play for Chelsea. Because that's a lie. That's cap. That's nonsense. And there's no way that should be the case. But the ones that are good should be starting. And the ones that are good enough to be cover should be cover instead of going to buy players for 70 and 50 million pounds. Just because it's a new shiny toy with an expensive price does not mean it's better than the toy you already have. Chelsea have got great talent. I think it's time that we use this talent. We need to explore pace, youth, exuberance. We need to be energetic. This is the beauty of Tuchel's football. When we're slow and lackluster, it doesn't suit us. We are better than this. We finish after 7 games top of the league. That doesn't count like we won the trophy. But there is a good chance that if we start now with a good run to come, we can be 4 or 5 points clear. We need to start winning these games, using our squad, trusting our youth. Chalo needs to play more. Ruben needs to play more. But at the same time, use your Jorginhos, use your Thiago Silvas, use your Aspilicuetas to make sure that you have a healthy team. Everyone's fit, everyone's raring to go. And guys, this is a positive video because I've noticed I've been negative in a few videos, but it's because the frustration was coming out. Like, we were playing so poor. Yesterday, even if we drew, I would have been positive. I'm telling you now, I would have been very positive because of the performance I saw in the first half. Performances over results for me. Because if you put good performances for a while, you can sustain good results. If you put lucky results, performances are poor, you're not going to win a lot of games. That's the fact. There's no way you're going to keep winning with poor performance. Guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be bringing you lot content throughout the international break. Maybe 4 videos a week. Tomorrow is Monday, so 4 videos this week guaranteed. I will be finding you stories. I'll be bringing you up with all the latest goals, who's been playing where, any news that comes out of Cobham. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm out. Peace out. Bye.